move where I started streaming on the wrong YouTube video for a minute, so we were streaming in a weird separate chat than the one I set up for a minute, but I fixed it now. So hopefully we don't have to corral anybody.
Yeah, congrats to those 2 people
Golden Corral
who listened to us talk about Nazi furries.
Yeah, you know how I showed you how that candle had like ash all over it? I now have ash all over my hands, so something happened.
Maybe that's
I
your
have a
special
pretty good
power.
guess as to what actually happened.
That's my arcana. I just
arcade fire
ash. Just get a little bit of ash on my hands. It's
not
fire, but it only smells like sweet treats.
It's not fire. It's just ash.
It's all pound cake flavored.
Pyroclastic flows. That would be a good one. You're just a volcano.
Damn.
Well, since apparently it can be fucking anything.
Yeah, apparently it could just
Go ahead.
be just robot something, you know?
Yeah, having better prosthetics is magic, and also
Having-
you got them through magic.
Better prosthetics than the
prosthetics.
ones you already had.
Having not useless
yeah.
prosthetics. Like,
Yeah, like
That's some dumbass monks made for you.
right.
everyone gets a special power. And you, Jax, you just get functioning arms again.
No, they're
Congratulations.
better arms.
Guess what?
You go back to normal.
I know. He literally just goes, "Oh yeah, these work." That's just so funny.
These are functional.
You're like, yeah, more. They're like, ooh, he's just gonna have these little crab claw arms for the rest of the movie. We all knew.
I could go to the grocery store now.
I don't know, like, when is the appropriate time to start, like, trashing the movie, but, like, number one thing was, like, when Jax had those, I was like, me, as a human being, as, like, an average strength man, with something, like, with, like, an average, like, a hard enough object, I could break his arms, you know, when they first made. Like, this man is supposed to fight! What are they doing?
I was really hoping that those arms would just be, like, super strong, super powerful arms and just look like that the whole time. I was really looking forward to the idea of that.
They look real cool.
They don't. They look so skinny and sad.
Like, yeah,
that's
why
they're good.
They don't.
They're cool as, like,
a
a trait for, like, not someone who's supposed to go into hand-to-hand combat with people.
I would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna choose Jax to be my fighter with his little skinny pig arm.
What if they were super
and he
strong and
yells
tough,
in
though?
pain every time he does
It doesn't look
something.
strong and tough. It doesn't look strong
That's
and tough.
what would be fun
like,
about it.
This
it looks
movie
like
is all about looks.
Yeah,
It's true.
it
It's
looks
true.
like Treasure Planet, like the one
Right.
dude, you
Like
know.
Joseph
But you don't
Gordon-Levitt.
expect, you don't expect
Yeah.
that dude to be throwing haymakers.
At
you
least
know?
it's
You just
like the
that's like
same-
functional.
The same width in like Treasure Planet, whereas here it was like bonk, like just bones, little bones,
It really did just give him bones.
bone arms, bone arms. That is.
I thought they were gonna do like the Legend of Korra, where his superpower would like give him arms,
Yeah.
but also, you know, be magic, like they said it would be.
Right.
Because
Magic
like
metal arms.
even Main Boy, who got like the armor was magic. Like there was had a magic element to it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's definitely like
Cyborg didn't. He just got more robot. He just got arms.
Kano is
Robot arms.
absolutely the worst defender
Magical.
because, like, in the games, so I don't know how many people like play because I looked this up to like check just to make sure. But Kano in the games is like he's actually like part like cyborg, like his like face
Right,
like got
he's got
melted
a- he's
off,
got an
and
eye.
so
Yeah.
But like in this one, they're like, shit, like we don't have enough time to go into like backstory. What if we just and he has to have a magic he could just make that eye appear.
Yes, one laser eye, just
One laser eye.
I think
not
that
two.
rules,
just
though.
sometimes.
Okay, so hey, since we're getting into it, let's just
Okay,
start off
okay.
by saying, hi, what's up? My name is Jackson McMurray. Mortal Kombat!
My name is Adeline McMurray, and I'm girl with ponytail and wearing a black tank top.
My name is
Number
Kezia
3.
Rhodes. Fatality.
For my brother, fatality.
My name is Satchel. You know what they didn't say? Toasty. They didn't give a fuck. That's crucial.
Wow, maybe that'll be the sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
This is since we're getting into the movie. The movie today is Mortal Kombat, the 2021 version, not the 1995 version. But I think the linchpin of Mortal Kombat as a franchise is yelling. Mortal Kombat is the best yelling franchise that has ever existed. I think that's the most important thing about Mortal Kombat to me.
Yep.
Just people yelling. Yeah.
Just, I think like the title of it specifically was just like designed to be yelled.
Yelled.
Like
Mortal Kombat. Get over here.
They got the voice actor in the studio to say Mortal Kombat, and then they built the game. You know,
exactly.
They
built it. They reverse engineered it from there.
Yeah.
So funny. Like, hey, you know how video games are designed? It would be fun if we had a game where there were cool fighters and they fought each other to the death. Wouldn't that be cool? And then they're like, how can we make this into a movie? Cool fighters who fight each other to death. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
This movie does really make me feel like it's my fault that I don't know Mortal Kombat lore. That's on me. I should have known. I'm a fake fan. I should have come to the table.
Did you know
that Mortal Kombat is supposed to be spelled with a K?
Yes.
That's
the
a
joke
traditional Japanese.
I think I wrote down. I felt ashamed every time I actually laughed at this movie because I was like, this is like marketed towards people like me.
Right.
They're just gonna like eat it up,
they got you.
Yeah,
and
they did get me at the. That's spelled wrong.
Oh,
It's so funny because seeing it written out in these ancient texts of Mortal Kombat, and then the dude just like goes up and he's like, fucking spelled this shit wrong.
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
Okay, I didn't have time to learn to spell when I was fighting for my emblem.
I was learning to shoot a laser beam out of my fucking eyeball. Sorry.
When I was learning the ways of the sword while you guys were in high school.
So, okay. In preparation for this podcast, and also while I was recuperating from my second vaccine shot, I watched...
Also, congratulations on that.
Thank you. I did watch the original 2 Mortal Kombat movies. And comparing this movie to the original Mortal Kombat movie, the thing that I hate the most about this new movie is that, like, in the 1995 Mortal Kombat, much like in the game's Mortal Kombat, they're just like these guys. They're just like, check it out, this guy's Johnny Cage, you get like 2 sentences of flavor text. Right? Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, here's Prince Goro. He's a big guy with 4 arms, and he's like royalty of the underworld or whatever.
Yeah, get over it. Moving on.
Yeah, this
Sure.
This is Johnny Cage. He's a movie star. This is Sonya Blade. She's like a soldier or something. Like
she's the girl.
She's girl.
That's all you need. That's 100% of what you need. Here's Kano. He's Scottish. He's got a robot eye. Like, done. Got it. This movie, for some reason, has decided it needs to be like an origin story like 20 times over. Like,
yeah.
This movie, instead of just being like, here's Sub-Zero, he's an ice boy, he's like, but don't you want to know why Sub-Zero's an ice boy? Don't you want to know all the backstory of why Sub-Zero's an ice boy?
How Scorpion got sent to hell?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't really. I would like for you to be like, this is Scorpion, he's from hell. I'd be like, sick. Let's move on with the rest of the movie now.
Yeah.
But that's the entire movie. The amount of time it takes in the original movie for them to be like, I'm Johnny Cage, is like spun out into an entire movie in this 2021 version, which I am not especially a fan of.
Also, everybody, make sure that you're recording your audio because I realized that I wasn't. I just started now.
Shoot, I also forgot.
Yeah, because we usually.
I have been recording this whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, because usually we fuck around for a second and then we're like, okay, start recording, and we just like got into.
We just kind of got into it.
There's just so much to say.
This movie's fucking around. Like it's not any stupid shit we could talk about beforehand is gonna be in the movie. So.
Right. It's just I don't know. Part of me was like disappointed. I think I was telling people earlier outside that like I requested to be on this podcast for this movie because I was like, this movie is gonna be terrible, bad, awful, you know.
Mhm.
And
Testing,
like
testing.
I'm gonna have. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Keep going.
I was gonna be like, oh, you know, and it wasn't great for sure, but like I wanted like a simple day to just to like, you know, just to trash on a movie, and like I could still trash on it, but the reasons I'm trashing on it is just not as fun. Like
Yeah.
pacing
Yeah.
and like character problems are just not as fun to trash on as like movie bad. Is lines said weirdly.
Can we talk about how bad of an actor the main guy is and listening to him
come
say
on.
things?
What?
Look outside. It's snowing. Chosen.
There was
Chosen for what? Like, he's just like,
I thought
it's
he was
a bad
good.
script delivered the most like flattest way when he turns to his wife and he's like, look, it's snowing outside. It's like, what are you a human person?
I don't think it was as bad as like his wife and kid. Like for some reason, all the kids' lines sounded like they came out of a different person. They sounded so weird to me. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was like you guys felt it, but I don't want to like rip on child actors, I guess. But
Right.
like,
Yeah, I don't want to bully children, but
yeah, chill. You're a child. You don't know how to act, right? But I did not think he was like for some reason the way like his wife acted was like his wife never acted like she was in mortal danger, you know.
Right.
yeah, she
yeah.
just kind of swore around her daughter a lot, which just
Yeah.
felt weird. She's like, it sounds better than fucking Ice Ninja showing up. A 12-year-old daughter. Like, I get that this is a fun R-rated movie, so we can say fuck a few times. You are a mother in like an emergency situation. I don't know why you're swearing like you're at the bar on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
Like you're
and,
chilling with your friends when an ice
Swearing-
ninja is hunting you down.
swearing in a quip, you know, like an ice ninja's
Yeah.
hiding you down. You're like better than a fucking ice ninja instead of going fuck. What the hell, you know? Like, that-
Oh
feels like
Mortal
reactionary.
Kombat!
yeah.
It's like she's standing there like shocked and aghast for minutes because there's a fight scene going on, and then she'll be like,
Right.
"Oh, now I'm gonna respond, and I got an axe." And this,
Yeah.
but like didn't react at all for minutes
Yeah.
before then. We just saw her
Yeah.
standing, cowering on a porch for a really long time.
This movie, that opening scene that we get of Hanzo and his family, as much as I really
So
do
good.
like
so
that,
good.
it's so good. It's really good. Like I love
We
the
should've
custom
been
build, the
that.
fighting. I love the motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking. The whole thing. The
Yeah.
second we were like in the present day, I was like, "Fuck this! I don't want to be here."
Oh god damn it.
But God, like, there's a fucking guy in a tank top and they're in a truck. Fuck this.
My first note.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Why would you show it? I don't.
Oh, but so we get like Krusty Man and his loving wife and his adorable son and his cute baby. It's like, okay, so all
Right.
these motherfuckers are
Yeah,
gonna
you're
die
like, this is not
immediately. I know.
Yeah,
that.
like as
I know
soon
that
as,
they're
like,
all
his-
2 seconds for being fridged. I know that.
his wife
But then
was
what
like,
we do,
"I'm so happy to be here. I love you so much," and I was like,
I
fucking
value
dead.
you, and I'm blessed to be married to you. I'll go
Yeah.
get you your water, my love.
Yeah.
like,
and then he
it's
skips
like all
away.
these people
Yeah.
like that.
But
Yeah,
I
but
would,
then what they do is that they immediately give you another happy family, but then they just like hold the fridge. They're like, oh, these people are gonna get fridge like above you the entire movie. They're like, oh, we're gonna kill them for character development, and we like put them in danger for character development. But the fact that neither the wife nor the child really have strong personalities. The girl's cute at the beginning when she's hanging out with her dad and she keeps
Right.
telling him to uppercut people.
Yeah,
Like
that's fun.
that's good. I wish they continued that throughout the whole movie instead of just that one scene. Because the rest of the movie really is just like, oh, we're gonna kill these women.
Yeah,
Aren't you worried about that? And it's
I-
like, well, not anymore.
Yeah, and I think like if they had sort of reacted in a more realistic way, I think that would have gone a long way.
Mhm.
Even if they weren't like the wife is kind of a nothing character, and the daughter has some like fun personality, but like both of them seem so bland when you look at them as like a person, and you're like these people are not there. Their eyes are unfocused. They're just vaguely worried about something. It's like
they point at the scary thing.
Yeah, they're like the director gave him was like, hey, there's an ice ninja there, and he's gonna like hurt you, instead of be like, this person is gonna like literally freeze you to death and like cause in this like horrific fashion or whatever. But I don't know.
I think like when I sat down in a theater to see this movie, and like that opening scene with Scorpion and Sub-Zero in like 15th century Japan, like just there is something. R-rated action movies are kind of a limited quantity these days. There aren't like too many of them. So like between the fact that it's just like it's good to have one of these every once in a while, and because there's just like a certain kind of action you can't get away with in a PG-13 movie like this, and like that opening scene with that like fight scene between the two of them is so insanely good. I was like in that theater, I was like looking around at like the people like in the rest of the theater, like, is this gonna be like the best movie ever? Like, like were people lying? Like, is this gonna be insane? And then like literally right after that, it like cuts to him in like the tank top, and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot.
I'm American. God damn it. God.
Like when you just see the like sword, knife blade, whatever, just cut through the wall, and there's just blood. I was like, I actually I'm excited to see this movie. I turned it on and I was like, I don't want to watch this. Right. I don't like this. Yeah. I need to have like way more alcohol in my system for me to enjoy this movie. But I can't because it's 10 in the morning. But then I was like, oh yeah. This is it, baby. And then transition to current day, and I was like, no, don't do that. Don't just stay here. You're already doing so well here. Yeah. Why are you gonna try to do something else that's gonna be bad?
And like,
I do think the funniest joke in the whole movie, and I'm not even sure if it was supposed to be a joke, was that moment when Sub-Zero is like talking to Hanzo about how he's gonna end his bloodline, and then Hanzo just goes, I don't speak Chinese, and then they start fighting. It's the funniest thing on the planet.
Whatever. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, and like neither of them can understand each other, and they're just
because he like says something and he like keeps switching between Japanese and Chinese, but then when he like meets him, he just like starts talking in Chinese. He's just like, I don't know what you're saying. And then they start fighting.
No habla español.
Oh man.
No, and like I think that I just love there are those moments in that scene where I don't remember which one is doing it to which, but where one of them just keeps smacking the guy's head against like a rock, like a boulder on the ground.
It's Sub-Zero.
Holy
it's
shit.
So insane, and it's like the kind of thing that you're like trained to read as a killing blow in these kinds of movies, right? Like if somebody gets their head smacked against a rock like that, you're always just like, oh, got him, now he's done. But when they just
and
like
they're done.
Yeah, when they just like keep fighting after that, you're like, oh shit. It reminds me of like that first season of Daredevil on Netflix. It's like that sort of like genuinely like brutal, like really sincerely thrilling sort of like hard R-rated action choreography that I think is so great. And like I think the last fight scene in the movie too, where they're at the gym and it's Scorpion and Sub-Zero again with what's his name? Cole Young. Cole Sprouse.
Dylan.
And that shit all rules too, especially that moment where we haven't seen Scorpion the entire rest of the movie, and he just shows up, and the only explanation they have is, I have returned from hell to kill you, and they just start fighting. You're like,
fires of hell with but I control them now.
Ass.
Yeah. You're just like, fuck yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
You're like, yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did.
Yeah,
I know that.
That is why you're here. Yeah.
I think that overall, most of the fight choreography is like really good, but there is like when who's fighting the hammer guy? It's Jax, right?
Jack,
Yeah.
There's just I don't know what it took me so far out of it when he would swing that hammer and it just looked so styrofoam.
Right.
And I know that it's like he's really strong, but it just was like
Yeah, because there's like no wind-ups. You're like, that can't weigh very much, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's just like that was the one thing where I was like, that wasn't as good, and this was acted poorly.
Right.
But it's countered by whole woman getting sawed in half.
Yeah.
By a hat.
Hot dog style.
That was sick.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons, that's like one of the things I like. I don't know if you guys played the games. I haven't played very much. But my sort of preliminary knowledge is that like a lot of the like named deaths on screen are like actual fatalities in the game.
Right.
Like the like hat spinning one, like that's like one of the things you can do in some of the games. And like I don't know if all of them were. I'm not like that well versed. But like seeing some of the stuff sort of recreated, definitely very fan servicey, but definitely like cool to see sort of realized in live action like this.
Right.
I don't know.
I kind of think that like go ahead, Adeline.
There's a correct way to do fan service and an incorrect way to do fan service. And I don't mean like fan service like girls wearing bikinis. I mean fan service like obviously calling out things that are like in the video games that fans want to see.
Right.
Like so like doing like fatalities and moves and stuff that are directly from the game, I think is a great way to do that because you're just like, from the video game. Like I think that's perfect. Having them then whisper under their breath, fatality is so fucking stupid and takes you out of it. I like their characters so much, but when they're like, ultimate fatality, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
The best one was when Kano wins.
Yeah, that one.
That
one's the exception. I like that one.
He really did just say that in front of God and everyone.
And everyone,
the only one who could like. I have problems with Kano. I think like half of the R rating went to him exclusively, and his his just use of the fuck word. But like I think he's the only person who's allowed to like make meta jokes like that. I don't think the monk who lived in a temple for his entire life would be like brutality,
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Like,
flawless.
I think this movie had such a weird climax because the climax is like that fight at the gym between Sub-Zero and Scorpio and Armor Man and Black Panther, but he's not Black Panther. Is like that's the thing, but we like that whole scene is so drawn out. I like them like literally like I don't know if I like it or not that they're literally just like we're gonna do the video game where we teleport you to a location from the video game and you fight like it's the video game,
right?
And we do that 3 times and then we get to the big fight. Like that just seemed like the fact that they just like win immediately too just like got rid of all tension. Like we've seen these people kick their asses, like they are like so much the underdogs. And then we get to like the, hey God, can you teleport us anywhere? And they're like, yeah. And they like teleport them to like the bridge and then they just like destroy the other person immediately. It's like this.
Right.
Where did this come from?
They didn't have the motivational speech beforehand, you know?
Well, it's like they all got their superpowers.
No.
But they've had the superpowers for like 2 seconds.
They learned them. They learned how to do them.
He killed Prince
It happened off camera.
He was like, I needed. Oh, my family needed to be in danger. Oh, my baby mother.
I get it now.
Here's. I was gonna talk about the arms again.
Oh, okay. Well, we can circle back around, but what I want to say is that like the basest premise of Mortal Kombat. I mean, as much as there is like a plot of the Mortal Kombat games, it's just like there's a tournament and there's the outworld bad guys and the real world good guys. And they have to fight for the fate of the world in this tournament. And that's what they do in the 1995 one, right? They're like, there's this big tournament, everybody shows up, there's like tension between the different people, they learn to get along, and they're fighting the bad guys, and they win at the end. And like, that's it. And there's like other drama, there's like plot lines and stuff within that, but that's like the generalized thing. And like, it also works because that gives you a great opportunity to say things like flawless victory, because there could be a guy who's watching a fight who can say flawless victory, you know?
Right.
And like, I just think that like, this is like one of the biggest things that people have been bringing up about this movie, is that it's all about them trying to not have a tournament. And like, it's just weird that they don't ever get there. Like, I was totally cool with it, like, being about all these other things, like, until you get to the third act, and then the tournament starts, and then they figure it all out. Like, that seems like the easiest way to play it to me. But instead, they just sort of make the whole thing, like, a weird extracurricular for this tournament that we just hear about, that we never get to see. And,
that,
like...
I didn't even think of that. That, like, the tournament never happens, does it?
Yeah. They like
It's
have, when they start training, they're like, we're gonna have a full moon before the tournament starts. So you think the tournament is like happening now. And I do I think that's a smart plot. Like for someone like me who doesn't know the lore at all, for them to be like, we have this tournament where we win, and if they win too many times, then it's game over, which I feel is kind of stupid. Just have it be a tournament that we always have to win. But, like, to be like, the bad guys don't want a tournament to happen at all. They just want to kill all of us before the tournament so they can do it, like, sketchily and not have to, like, actually compete. Like, I like that. Like, the bad guys are trying to stop us before the tournament. But we need, like, a higher up. We need, because they keep talking about the gods, and they're like, oh, the gods won't stop us. Like, I want the gods to be what's keeping them from, like, they have to be sketchy and do this stuff, or else they're going to stop them. And then we, like, fend off the bad guys long enough to, like, actually get to the tournament. And then the gods are like, okay, rules are enforced now. And you have to, like, actually compete. Like, that makes narrative sense to me. Instead of just being like, we're going to fight everybody outside of the tournament style. Like, just have the fucking tournament then. Like,
Yeah, I think it's one of those pitfalls of... everything's gonna be a franchise these days, and
they have to
people
save
are
the
gonna
tournament for later.
they're gonna expect the tournament, so we want it to be our version of Infinity War, and so we're gonna have to push it back. We're not gonna see Johnny Cage. We're not gonna blah blah blah. And then
everybody's trying to do the Marvel formula without putting any of the effort that Marvel put into the Marvel formula,
and then it doesn't make sense.
I'm always sort of torn, because there are a lot of franchises nowadays go really far out of their way not to give you the thing you obviously want in the first one and save it for sequels, you know? And I'm kind of two minds about it, because on the one hand, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, because there are people who do it well. Like, I think of like Deadpool and Deadpool 2. Like, it would have been weird if they went for, like, Cable and Domino, like, right off the bat, you know? They wanted to, like, tease you with it. I think of Daredevil. Daredevil didn't bring in Bullseye until the third season, and I thought that was pretty much the smartest way they could have done it. And, like, but it's also the difference between, like, it's the difference between making people wait for something and doing something cool in the meantime versus, like, tying one of your arms behind your back, basically, when you don't have
just
to.
treading water until you get to the cool
exactly
thing.
Right. I mean, it's basically just like carrot on a stick and being like, oh, we're seeing Mortal Kombat in this one, and then yanking it away and saying on the next one,
one, Johnny Cage,
because like, Johnny Cage.
Yeah. If you want this one to be an origin story, then like play around with that. Actually have it be an origin story. Like, they are really... these are cool characters with cool backgrounds, and instead of just being like, oh, this is Kano and he was being a little renegade or something, whatever they said, like, we could see that in action. We could see more than like,
just have it be in feudal Japan. Just have it be in feudal Japan. Because we're talking about all the ancient guys who have been alive for centuries. Like, just tell that story. Because, like, that's the extended lore that Mortal Kombat fans would want. They don't want the plot of the games again. Like, you know, like, give them something new that you can put a spin on. Just have it be in feudal fucking Japan. That would have been so cool.
Like, I know Cole Young is, like, he's the audience stand-in. He, like, all American... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. All American action movies follow like the standard like modified hero with 1,000 faces, where they have like the white dude, who in this case is Asian for a little bit of extra spice. just like, get involved in this like world he has nothing about. And like I think they played it really safe with that. Like they just like I was telling my mom this actually. She also saw it. I was like, this is like watching a Transformers movie. It's like it's exactly the same thing as
Right.
watching a Transformers
Absolutely,
movie.
yeah.
And because of that, it's just like like a story about feudal Japan might be cooler to the Mortal Kombat fans, but this is definitely going to be more palatable for like, we have to like try and get people on board for a video game movie.
Right.
Though, like I really thought that they were setting this movie up to be about like Scorpion's daughter. I thought she was gonna be the hero because they made such a big deal about like, oh, the baby's still alive, let's go save the baby. And I like, she could have had such a cool whatever like she takes on the moniker and the mantle and blah blah blah, but instead it was like she lived.
I wrote down in my notes. I was like, oh, if it's bloodline, his daughter got to be super powerful. I was like,
right?
Yeah.
But no, it's just like centuries go by, and now there's this rando guy, and he did mixed martial arts in Chicago for a while, and of course he was adopted or an orphan, because why would he know anything about his cultural roots?
Right.
That doesn't because.
Also, if you have a brand of a dragon on your like chest and you're like, it's the birthmark, it's whatever,
you're a fucking
like,
idiot.
no, it's fucking not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, how would he know? He was an orphan. No one ever told him.
Yeah, right.
Just I wonder. Cooler.
I do have to wonder though, because I think about like, for me, here's something I can relate to. I don't have a dragon birthmark, but I do have some sort of weird medical condition that makes my skin break out when it's very cold.
It's basically the same.
And when I was little, I also had a lot of food allergies, and people just told me that I was allergic to cold, which was, I assume, just the way that they just expressed it to me, that it was easy for me to understand. Like,
sure,
you know how you're allergic to food, you're allergic to cold too. And I was like, oh, got it. But I basically didn't question that at all until I had like graduated high school. And I was like, you can't be allergic to cold. Like, I'm not allergic to cold. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just did not even think about it for most of my entire life. So I can only assume that's what a dragon-shaped birthmark would be like. People just tell you it's a birthmark, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's a birthmark. You don't think about it.
I really did think that story was going to be more along the lines of, I have a condition that makes my skin break out, and sometimes it's in the shape of a dragon.
It could be, I guess. I don't know. I'm not usually looking for patterns.
You should be, because if one shows up, you might be a chosen one or whatever.
I might be a chosen one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this movie's just like the most generic, like, I mean, not even like hero's journey, but like blockbuster team building action movie.
St. Prince.
Yeah. It's Power Rangers, it's Avengers, it's like it's an origin story. It's like a superhero origin story like 10 times over, and it's like an origin story for them as like a weird team, which has never really been part of Mortal Kombat lore. Where at the end they're like, we're the forces of good, we're the Mortal Kombat team, and you're like, I don't know if I like this. It's
like,
just
I don't know if they've ever
are
agreed on
active
anything.
Fighters.
Right.
So that's a big team.
Like they like, it's like there's like an American action movie, Hero with 1,000 Faces. Like there's like a formula that a lot of them follow. As you're saying, like, this is the origin movie.
Right.
And it's just insane how cookie cutter, just how many beats you can like match up with anything else. Like you have the guy, he comes out of nowhere, he's like, what the hell is that? Like that's and then you get sent off into another world where he's like, whoa, I have to train, and then he can't do it, he gets upset, he goes back home. Like it's just like
Green Lantern,
Matrix.
It's Green Lantern shot for shot.
And it's like, this is something that we talk about a lot on this podcast, which is that, like, predictability is not an inherently bad thing in a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of, especially when it comes to, like, blockbuster movies, there are a lot of instances where that becomes a feature of a movie, right? That you kind of have a feel for where it's going, and there's something sort of comfortable about that. And it's what's really good about Marvel movies, I think, in the way they do it, is that you don't have to devote your energy to, like, the plot. It allows you, the fact that you kind of know generally how this is going to go allows you to sort of, like, focus your energy on other things. It allows you to focus on characters and, like, character interactions, and, like, you as an audience member are more tuned into all these ancillary things because the plot, capital P, you kind of know what's up. It's the same thing with like, because basically what we talk about is, like, the only time predictability is bad is when the thing you're predicting is not something you want to happen.
Yeah.
Is when you're like, this is gonna happen and that's not gonna be that good, and then it happens and it's not that good, and you're like, I was just dreading that for the last, like, 20 minutes, and it came to pass, and I'm unhappy.
Like, you don't want this movie to be Tenet as well as Mortal Kombat. Do you want to be confused the whole time? No, like, you don't. No one wants that. Like, what you're complaining about is the things that were beyond the plot. The characters maybe weren't as developed as they should be, and the acting maybe was a little more wooden than you'd hope it to be, and maybe whatever. I don't know. The effects were pretty good. They're fine.
Right.
Sometimes those arms maybe weren't as good as they should have been. Or could have been.
Goro's had better days, maybe. Or maybe this is his best day, and he just hasn't.
I don't know.
Maybe it's not good for Goro.
The 1995 Mortal Kombat has this weird blend of, like, a real puppet, like, augmented by computer graphics in a way that, like, simultaneously looks really good, but is also, like, weird to look at, because you're looking at it, you're like, I'm not quite sure what parts of this are real and what parts of this are fake, in a way that's, like, makes me, like, sincerely uncomfortable as a viewer. Yeah, it's like,
actually, that might be, like, no, scratch it. I don't think it's intentional, but it is somewhat accurate.
Right.
Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the original Goro, when he first appeared in Mortal Kombat, was a clay figure that they...
oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, he was a little claymation boy.
Yeah. They did him completely differently.
Made him like a golem or something. Just, he is made out of clay. Deal with it. And what?
Yeah, what of it? Yeah.
He's still really strong.
I think it's cool that, like, he's always been, like,
it doesn't affect his job performance.
Right.
Yeah.
He can still uppercut better than you.
Uppercut.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with Goro. He can't match anybody else in the cast visually.
Yeah, I think that's a fun character quirk, whether it's intentional or not. Just like, hey, this motherfucker's gonna be different. There's just like, you cannot make this guy look the same.
He's gonna look wrong.
He's gonna kind of hurt to look at. That's fine.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's part of it. It's
okay.
the
Have
lore.
you already...
Okay.
So, Jackson, you had your very hot take on Twitter about Mortal Kombat being two separate movies. Was that this movie, or were you talking about the 90s?
I'm talking about this movie. I just think, the stuff at the beginning and the stuff at the end, all the Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff, this, like, ancient rivalry between these, like heroes and villains that you, like, don't require any major exposition for. It's just, like, one is an evil assassin that's from one, like, clan, and one is, like, a like noble family man who didn't choose this life but was forced into it by the attack. And they just fight over the centuries. And like, it just kicks ass.
Just like Wolverine.
That moment at the end where he just shows up and is like, I have returned from hell to kill you. You're like, yeah, this is incredible. This is absolutely
and he's like,
wonderful.
Get over here.
Yeah, he's like,
literally
get over
his
here.
white eyes.
Yeah. He takes the mask off his face, turns into a weird skull jaw, and blows fire at the dude. You're like, I have no idea what's going on. It rules, though. It kicks ass.
But I love it. Cool. Yeah.
And it's like the bookend really for like an hour and a half's worth of like origin stories you didn't ask for. Origin stories you don't want or need, you know?
Really have. Like, what do you know about Jax besides he was in the military and figured stuff out with
Right.
Sonya.
He's a big black man with a big gun, and he says motherfucker. He could be
Yeah.
from any
Have
Terminator
no
movie.
arms.
These can work. These
Right.
will work.
No
He could be
arms.
cyborg. He encompasses a lot of like big tough black guy character tropes, but he just
Right.
encompasses all
With
of them,
robot
and
parts.
it's which is already a slippery slope thematically, and then to just like pile on any other trope that you can think of for a big black man, it's just like makes me uncomfortable.
But he's got
but-
the mustache though.
Yeah, the mustache
He
is
does.
good.
Mustache is good.
And I like
Well, I was
Mehcad
gonna
Brooks.
say-
I think
Yeah.
he's cool. I think he's pretty good.
I have never
Wait,
seen
what?
him in
Well, I was-
anything.
He's in Supergirl.
Oh.
He plays
That's
Jimmy
why.
Olsen.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
That sounds kind of fun,
He's
actually.
pretty good. He later on got more of like an action based role, and he's
Right.
good in it. And he's a compelling actor, and he was, I think, on the higher end of the list in terms of performance when it comes to the
Right.
the rest.
And I
And
think,
it's not hot competition though,
Right.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
personally, I think one of the best things about this movie is the fact that it's cast almost entirely with like unknown actors. Not that these people haven't worked before, and I know some of them are like actual
Stunty.
Asian actors, but to American audiences, they're pretty much entirely unknown. And a lot of this movie just sort of functions as like this cool showcase for a lot of just like unknown and up and coming Asian actors, which I was just like, yeah, that's fun. Like, who's this guy playing Sub-Zero? That guy kicks ass. And I don't know his name, but I suspect I might in the next few years because he rules in this movie.
I
Yeah.
heard that he.
Mhm.
I heard that he's like a really, really good actor. Apparently, I think that's. I don't have evidence, but I was just talking to my mom about the movie. And that's what she said is that like that apparently he's been in other stuff that's like, higher brow than Mortal Kombat. I realize is not a high bar to get, but is like really good stuff, and he's been like really excellent. So,
I think he's he's a Chinese actor, like from China, who works in China.
He's a Chinese actor from China who works from China.
Because
and-
most of the
he's
time-
Chinese.
In the context of movies, usually
he's
we think Chinese
Indonesian, you
American.
racist.
Okay.
He's Indonesian.
unbelievable. He's
Got
a Fast
him.
and
But yeah,
Furious
so like a lot of his
Lock him
work are. But yeah, a lot of his work is not in American movies. Although I guess he is in Star Trek 3 also.
I did not get around to watching that guy.
It's
He's in The Raid.
And Fast and Furious 6.
That's what it is. That's what people know him from. He's from The Raid. Okay. What country is The Raid from? Anyway, that's just like a famous Asian action movie. That's sort of a cult classic among people who watch
It's
foreign
Indonesian,
language
brother.
action movies. It is Indonesian? Okay.
Yeah. Indonesia. It's an
Lock
important
him up a
country.
second time.
All right, there we go. Okay,
'Cause I
that's the one
didn't
question
know.
today.
I
'Cause you
said that I
did.
didn't know.
Here's the thing: is I don't know if this is true to other Asian people, but I always think that I can like tell the difference. I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell that you're Japanese. I
Right.
can tell that you're. But I think that is just like, I don't actually know anything. I'm just like, I know these
Just the
things.
confidence. Yeah.
I
I
knew
can
that.
tell. I can tell that he's not Chinese because of the way that he said the word pork. Like,
Oh man.
Well, I was going to say is that I really like your hot take that this is two different movies, but I would argue the two different movies are the fight scenes and every other scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Because the fight scenes are so cool and over the top and stupid and visually interesting. And we're doing fun things. Like, all of those parts of the movies are rad. I really enjoy those. Even when they make me a little bit sick because they're too gross, like, it's still cool. And I know what we're doing. And it feels like Mortal Kombat. But then watching these people just like fucking talk to each other
Right.
is like eating sand. It's the worst. It's like it's the kind of predictability that's bad. It's like
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly what stupid thing you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, "Do you really have $3 million?" She's like, "Fuck no, I don't have $3 million." It's like, "Oh, I miss my family." Like I fucking know what every one of these motherfuckers is gonna say, and I don't care. And they're gonna
Right.
say it in a weird, bad acting way. So like, just get rid of that part and just have them fight. It'd be
Right.
cool. It'd be visually interesting and over the top
Yeah.
and stupid. Like,
I mean, I kind of don't really think that. I think when they get to the end, when they're doing like real out and out video gamey Mortal Kombat thing, where it's like you are each gonna go to a location and fight one
in
other
a
guy.
video game.
Yeah,
Right.
like I think all those fights are really good. I think all the stuff like in between, I was not like mega impressed by any of those. Like their training fights are all like fine. The fight with the lizard guy is fine. Like when
I'd argue one of the best things in the entire movie is Liu Kang beating Kano with low kick spam. It's the
That's kinda
funniest
funny.
fucking thing to me. He like
Right.
tries to jump over it. It's exactly like the video game.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
that was very funny. That was probably the best gag in the movie.
That was the second. That was the second best joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and then they're like walking around in the desert for a long time, and like, I don't know. I just think like those bookends are great. I think like the beginning and the end of this movie both have these sequences that rule. Like the fight with Goro is not incredible. I don't really like martial arts scenes where one of the people is a CGI monster. It just never feels that great. And
Yeah.
I just think I think
Compared to all of the other martial arts scenes with two people we've been able to see that
Right.
are like real and grounded and you can feel it. Like we already talked about that. That was so good. When you try to pile on all of this stuff, you're like, ew. I was just talking with my sister today about how a cheese pizza from Domino's is one of the perfect foods. And when you start trying to add stuff to it, it's just right, you know? It's just
right.
you don't need to build anything on top of this. So if you're adding all your like a veggie supreme, I don't eat meat, so I never have like pepperoni or anything.
Right.
Okay.
But like when you put every vegetable under the sun on top of a pizza, then it's bad.
Too
You're like,
many
this
vegetables.
isn't thoughtful. This doesn't
You
taste
didn't think
right.
about it.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
This wasn't intentional. You just had these things and you put them on top for no
Right,
reason.
Yeah.
When what you had was fine. This movie is the veggie supreme of movies.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I
You
just think,
ruined
like,
the cheese pizza.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think the middle of this movie just kind of blows. I think there are very few redeeming qualities of the middle of this movie. I think the beginning and the end kick ass. I think the middle, there's almost nothing that I sincerely really like about it.
Keisha, your dog just scared the crap out of me.
He's so cute.
Because I just
Been
saw like
here the
a
whole time.
face appear and I didn't like register that it was a dog face. So it's just like,
It's
there's somebody in Keisha's room.
It's my Pero. He didn't like it. He didn't like the movie either. Just kidding. He
Aw.
didn't watch
Yeah.
it. Also, he
Good
doesn't know
luck,
anything
Ren.
about martial arts, so he wouldn't appreciate it anyway.
No,
Damn.
Yeah.
you wouldn't get it.
Wouldn't get
When
it.
I did karate for like almost 10 years, and to make karate feel relevant to young children would always have like, oh, the Karate Kid's coming out. Let's go see it together.
Oh, right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You like those, right? And then one time they got like an old Mortal Kombat game for people to play
Oh,
while
yeah?
they were waiting for their class to start. And I was so much worse than everybody else. It was already so much of like a boys club.
Right.
And I was like
Yeah.
in the black belt class, and there was all of the girls that used to be in the class quit, and I didn't. And then all on top of that, got invited to be part of like the special black belts team, and no one else from my school did. So they just like hated me, and they showed me that they were better by beating me at Mortal Kombat. And
I
I just didn't notice doing it all.
I always really loved the like old arcade like motion video Mortal Kombat games where you'd like punch somebody and their version of like brutal gore was just like bones flying out of them.
Right.
Just,
Yeah, like 4 rib cages.
You'd hit somebody, just like skulls and rib cages just flying out of every which
But it would
way.
just like move really pixelated through like
Yeah.
onto the
Yeah.
off screen. That's great. I love stuff like that.
That's wonderful.
My only context for Mortal Kombat was because I'm a big wussy, and so they're like, this one's really violent. So I'm like, I don't like that. But Mortal Kombat was the way that I immediately knew I was not welcome as a young girl in a comic book store, was if they were playing Mortal Kombat. That's when I knew this was not a space for me. They did not want
The
me
game,
there.
playing the movie,
That's
or
fair.
playing the song.
playing the
song.
game.
Can you imagine a more stressful environment
You
for trying
enter
to
in the
make a
store
Every
and they're
time
purchase?
a teenage girl walks into the comic book store, they just turn on the Mortal
You're
Kombat.
like, I just want to go browse
Every-
a little bit.
Every guy in the vicinity just, like, turns.
And I'm like 12, and I'm just fucking there for the My Little Pony comics and nothing else. They're just like,
How'd you guys like the fucking dubstep remix of the Mortal Kombat theme in the credits, by the way?
oh my god, it felt like it was 2012. That's
It's
what really
so
solidified it being a Transformers movie, was that.
My only gripe is that I wish it played for longer and like when Scorpion appeared. Like they got like
Yeah.
the first 2
Yeah.
bars and I was like,
Like
fuck
during
yeah. And
the
then they were,
movie, it was like all a weirdly slowed down version where it's like,
yeah, like it didn't quite fit in, but
It's
I
an
was too
intense-
hyped.
Yeah.
it's an intense tune.
Right.
So I feel like
Yeah.
it could have been. It should have set the scene. It could have been
Yeah.
bigger and better.
In
It's almo-
the
it's almost like it was the
They should have
background
played the
for a fighting
dubstep
game.
version.
yeah, in the old Mortal Kombat movie, they do literally. At the time, I think the most recent Mortal Kombat was like a Super Nintendo one, if not a like PlayStation 1 or Nintendo 64, that generation. But like, they literally just like needle drop a track from a video game in it a few times, where it's like the fight will start and it's just like bum, 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 like Nintendo 64 like video game music and the like
right,
big-
like compressed.
yeah, like the Bit Crunch guy going
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, and you're like, and it kind of kicks ass. It kind of rules.
yes, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great fan service.
Uh,
The coolest moment is just like the get over here to.
I
you know.
love that. I love Get Over Here. I think it's so
Okay.
fun.
So good.
Get over here. I did not like test your might when they were training. I
When they
just
were
felt
what?
they were like trying to figure out their powers.
Oh.
Raiden was like, test your might.
Right.
And I was like,
Yeah.
ah.
You
I
wanna know
guess.
Why do
what's-
they keep making these monks say video game things? Stop making them
I
say
know.
video game things.
there's not a video game franchise that exists that has more catchphrases than Mortal Kombat, I feel
Oh
like.
my god.
And they're good
yeah.
ones.
They're all great.
Yeah.
Like,
But
Oh,
when
yeah.
it's not like a one-off, like finish him, fatality, test your.
Right.
When it's like in the context of you've heard these people speaking full sentences
Right.
with
Right.
Yeah.
with real stakes and like weight behind what their words are, and then they go
You know, like real human
test
people.
your might. You're like,
Right.
why did you
can't-
say that?
You can't like see
you
someone's
okay?
like motivation and meet their family and then have them go over to you and be like, glorious victory. It's like,
right,
Yeah. Then he has to like deal with the death of his brother. And you're
yeah.
like, this doesn't feel like the same thing.
Right.
Uh,
Although,
It's not
okay, another thing I want to point out about the 1995 Mortal Kombat is that Raiden is played by a like 33-year-old white guy, and it's
that's great.
hilarious. And he's got
I
the
love
like
it.
big wide-brimmed hat, and he's just like, "Hello, my name is Raiden," and you're like, "Oh no, who are
That
you?"
feels really bad.
Uh,
That feels like
Oopsie.
when I was in 5th grade and my church did a
Mm.
VBS. We had like themed VBSs every year.
right.
And that
Yeah.
year the theme was pandas, which
Uh-oh.
really meant China.
Right.
And so there are
Mhm.
still to this day like 25 rice hats, And-
right.
and
Oh,
people just like
no.
find them and
Oh,
use them in
no.
skits.
Right.
Like this. Oh no! I accidentally destroyed another one. Now I have to throw it away.
Oh, whoops, daisy.
So
There was a
like,
big fire.
yeah, it's just like that. Why is the theme like that? Why do you think characterizing this man in this way is appropriate? What feels right to you? Because I need you to explain it to me.
Oh,
Need to have a
man.
conversation about this with you now.
Right. Oh, one other thing I
I've
just
got
wanted
some
to bring up-
literature prepared for you.
some literature. There is a systemic problem with video game movies, which
Yes.
is that they
They're bad.
never use the music from the video games. I don't know why they never do
Mhm.
this. Detective Pikachu, Sonic the Hedgehog, Resident Evil are all like games that have like iconic soundtracks that
Mhm.
like people
And like
know.
good songs. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like
They
none of
hire
these movies are
composers, though.
ever weaving that into the fabric of their movies. That should be like number one of like things you need to get right. And like, even though I think the score for this movie and the way they use the Mortal Kombat themes is like not always super exciting, I think just the fact that they're doing it and they're using it and it like is there and it like connects those two parts of your brain when you're watching it, it's like something that people
neuron
don't
activation.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
a little bit of world building that you don't even have to work on. Like, why don't you
Yeah,
just do
somebody
it?
already did it for you. And like, it doesn't make any sense for like the Sonic movie where they just took a movie and put Sonic in it. Like, it's so easy to just like, what if the main theme was just a Green Hill Zone theme? Like, that feels like so easy and just like, it's a Sonic movie now. Like, that feels like step one, you know?
I feel like they can't even do the excuse where they're like, oh, it's a video game, it doesn't really fit. Where like, I would get that if I just heard like Green Hill Zone in like the middle of my cop drama that is Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever, it would be weird. But like they already did, like when you hire like
the Sonic's already there.
And Sonic is there. And you have composers that already created a score they had to make from scratch, and you couldn't just say like, hey, could you just make Green Hill Zone and like make that this song, you know?
Yeah. Well, you just do it before they do all that hard work, you know? That would just be the idea going in.
I'm not gonna rewrite this real quick.
Yeah.
Green Hill.
And like, it's not out of place. Like, you're like, oh, it wouldn't make sense in this movie. That's a cop drama. Well, it doesn't make any fucking sense that Sonic's there, so why not?
You know what? Fair.
Oh, by the way, Adeline, the guy who plays what's his name? Liu Kang in this movie. He's the guy who plays the Black Power Ranger in the Power Rangers movie.
No way.
I get so excited every time one of those kids shows up in something. I want the world for them.
They deserve it.
I can see it. The first time he showed up, I was like, this guy would do numbers on TikTok. This guy would have like
he's so jacked.
Yeah. He is.
It's just fucking. He took off his shirt, and I'm like, oh, he's probably pretty. Oh my god!
Right.
He's just got muscles everywhere.
The
See, while we're talking about other video games, I was gonna say I like the BioShock reference when they fight the invisible dog because he picks up a pipe wrench. That was fun. I don't think it was intentional. It was fun for me though.
No, fun fact.
That's good.
Is that Adeline likes BioShock.
Yeah, I do.
This has never been discussed before.
No, this is new information for everyone.
I'm trying to go
Everyone go around and say something that nobody knows about you yet.
I'm gonna go through.
Jackson likes Cars 3.
I want to talk about the Power Rangers cast, okay?
Yes.
I just want to
naturally
do a quick check-in. Dacre Montgomery is in Stranger Things. That's kind of been his big thing.
He was.
Right. He's gonna play Steve Binder in the Baz Luhrmann Elvis Presley biopic next year, which I'm pretty excited about. I think that'll be fun.
Sure.
So Dacre, stay strong out there.
That's like a weird sort of like seven 7 degrees kind of thing, you know?
Right.
Like Power Rangers to
Elvis.
Elvis.
And Naomi Scott, I feel like, is the one who's kind of actually sort of breaking out the most because she was Jasmine in Aladdin, and then she was in Charlie's Angels. She was one of the titular angels.
And she was in Lemonade Mouth.
movie?
True.
Okay.
She was in Lemonade Mouth.
Yeah, she was Mo.
That is her.
Wait. She was in Lemonade Mouth? Are you kidding me?
Naomi Scott.
Is she the punk girl with the t-shirt that says No, it's not her. Okay.
She has conservative Asian parents who are like, you need to do school and music and that's it. And then she's like,
the violin girl.
I want to do rock music. You don't know the real me.
Wait, she thinks She's So Gone? That's her?
Yes, that is
Naomi Scott.
Oh no.
RJ Seiler, who plays Billy, has not been doing quite as hot because he was in Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, but that was before Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
The only important things he's been in since then are the Netflix original movie Sierra Burgess is a Loser.
Oh,
So, like,
that is not a good film.
things could be going better for him. So we gotta,
Mhm.
out of all of them, we gotta
Mhm.
lift RJ Seiler up.
Yeah,
And
my
he
boy
was, like,
RJ
he was
gotta be
one
on
of
the
the
up and
best
up.
ones. Yeah.
Becky G, who plays the Yellow Ranger, has also had a rough go of it, it seems. The only other credit, she was a voice. Remember that Netflix original movie Gnome Alone? It was like an animated movie about a
God.
girl who
Yeah.
like fights some gnomes or something. She was that. She was the titular Gnome Alone. She was Gnome Alone.
Girl. Yeah.
No, she was in Hotel Transylvania.
Was she?
What?
It's
Wait,
not
she did
coming
the
up here.
Now? Which is just she's known for. Apparent. Hold on. You keep going. I'm gonna look for this.
Right. Becky G is her name.
Yes.
And then she was also in Axel, AXL, which I only know as a movie that was a trailer that played before movies for like 9 months and then just disappeared one day, and I don't think it ever even made it to my theater in town.
Yeah.
It was like a weird blockbuster about like a dude who has like a robot dog or something.
Mm.
Right up my alley.
Just like one of those horrible flops that just absolutely vanishes.
She sung the monster remix of Problem in Hotel Transylvania.
Oh, that's
in
what
case
I
you're
know.
wondering.
There
her
you
from.
go.
I think she does
Yeah.
music too. Like she's
Yeah,
not
looks like-
just an actress;
Right.
she's a musician.
That might be true.
She's a triple threat.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, can she dance? Is
I
the
don't
third? Is
Can
the
she
third
dance?
one being a Power Ranger? Like, I
Is-
think then yes, she's a triple threat.
Oh,
if the
yeah,
third
right,
threat
the
I
is
third
think
being
Power
a
Power
Ranger.
Power
Rangers
Ranger.
does count as yeah.
And I guess Ludi Lin, Black Ranger, is in Aquaman. He plays one of the, like, he just plays like a dude in Aquaman.
He's one of the men.
He
That's
plays
the dream, man.
He's one of the
He plays-
Aquamen.
he plays Captain Merc. I don't remember who that was, but he's
Yeah.
there.
Oh, is he one of the
Couldn't
like
tell ya.
merman people or one of the crab
You know what else
boys?
he was in? You know what else he was in?
What else?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. He was in Striking
Oh, we
Vipers.
got it. It's been 0 days since we've talked about Black
Black
Mirror.
Mirror.
It's been a while. I haven't brought back Black Mirror up.
All
I
roads
just-
go back
I
to
know-
Black Mirror.
I know this isn't a Power Rangers podcast. I know we did our Power Rangers episode already. Kezia, have you seen Power Rangers?
I watched it with you. You
Were you
ass.
there that day? Okay. I
Hey,
couldn't
Jackson,
remember.
we watched this movie so many times.
We've watched it a lot.
Okay.
Actually,
With
Like,
our
more than
like
once.
Spokane friend group, like a lot of the time there's like one person missing for different things, and it's hard. I always
That's
gotta make
true.
sure. Anyway,
That's why Power Rangers has played more than once.
right.
Yeah.
We love that Power Rangers movie so much, and I just feel the need every once in a while to just check back in.
Bring it up.
I need
Mhm.
all those kids to know, hey, if you're listening, Ludi Lin, Becky G, Dacre Montgomery, RJ Seiler, Naomi Scott, if you're out there, we love you.
You can be on the podcast.
You can be on the podcast. We'd love for you to be on the podcast.
Look, this could be
Oh
your
my
next
God, I
big
would love-
break.
Big break.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's our thing. We've been talking about getting Oh Brother Where Art Thou people, but these ones are young adults. These are our peers.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah, these are our clans.
if we want to get Oh Brother Where Art Thou actors, we're going to be talking to like 70-year-old white guys, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's not exactly our core demographic. I feel like
We are having our own father on the podcast, Jackson, so.
our mother, you mean? When are we having our dad on the podcast?
Oh, I thought we were going to have our dad on for Ferris Bueller.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. We have concrete plans to have our mom on, but whatever.
Yeah, I know.
nice.
Dacre Montgomery, Naomi Scott, RJ Seiler, Becky G, Ludi Lin come on the podcast. A course correction. This is our new white whale.
It's in the universe
Cool.
now, so
Oh my God, we could have all of them and we could like be the Power Rangers.
Have like the worst podcast ever.
Yeah, the worst.
eight people talking about one movie.
Well, either that or we're just gonna watch Power Rangers 5 times, which is an option. We will do that.
We could do 6 Power
Just,
Rangers episodes.
Tell
Yeah,
each
man.
of them to watch a different Power Rangers movie.
Maybe. There are quite a few of them.
What about
Or
Big
just
Bad
tell them to
Beetleborgs?
watch. Just watch them to tell them to watch a different movie, but actually we're watching Power Rangers.
And you know,
Just
and
like sneak up on them.
if we want to, we could also rope in like an Elizabeth Banks, a Bryan Cranston, a Bill Hader.
True.
But that's not the priority. Like if
Yeah.
Elizabeth
I mean,
Banks
like-
were like, Jackson, I'd love to come on the podcast, I'd be like, I guess, fine. Like it's not. I'm not gonna like seek it
Bill
out, though.
Hader.
I mean, they've been
Do you know
begging
how
for
viral
months,
we
and
would
it's
go
kind
if
of a
we got Bill
hassle at this
Hader on the
point, so-
podcast?
Oh, of course. Everybody
Um,
loves Bill Hader. I think he should play Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movie. That's my big Bill Hader take.
That'd be good. That would be really good.
What if I got to play the Green Ranger? What if through our connections, what if we made friends with all the Power Rangers actors and then I got to play the Green Ranger when they make the sequel? Wouldn't that be sick?
Yeah, in the sequel that's coming out, that's happening.
Coming out, yeah, any day
uh-huh.
now.
2021.
They're waiting. They're
We all
waiting.
know.
For
They're
Yeah.
waiting for me. They just haven't found the
can't
right guy
wait.
yet.
They can't start filming until they have the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh,
Was
man.
the Green Ranger white?
Yeah.
Should I check to make sure the Green Ranger was
I
white?
don't think he was.
I
I
don't
feel like he
think
was
he-
Latino or something.
I don't think he was white either.
I thought he was.
I don't
I'm
remember.
not gonna guess at what this person's race was because I
Well-
don't remember.
But the thing is, what are the odds that it was a white person playing a different ethnicity? Because in that instance, I think it's okay. I think I can take over in that case.
Just be-
my gosh.
You'll be Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Scarlett.
America's #1 Asian actress, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
It's just like nice to be able to feel represented, on screen.
I know. Yeah.
Well, hey, be Italian.
Mortal Kombat. The other thing, why I always think about it is because this movie.
Jackson can be Italian.
Yeah, the most ethnic of all the whites. is Italian.
Italian. We got plausible deniability.
But like Mortal Kombat and Power Rangers are very fucking similar movies, right?
Oh yeah.
Like
Mhm.
these two
Okay.
movies share a structure that is so fucking similar. It's wild, and I kept thinking about Power Rangers the whole time I was watching it. Is
Yeah, I was
what
thinking
I
about
was
Transformers, but it's
trying
the
to get
same.
around to.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think it really shares that much with Transformers because like it's one guy. It's one guy in Transformers, and he doesn't have like a power. The Power Rangers in this
Cinematography
movie.
wise,
I think if you just follow Mr. Cole Sprouse, I think he really is
Right.
just like one for one. I don't know. Maybe he's not, but like that's like the immediate vibe. I was like Transformers.
orange lighting, man in a tank top. We got it.
But I'm thinking more like it's these 5 youths who
Yeah,
have
okay.
to come together, and not only do they have to learn how to fight, but they also have to unlock their secret power that they can only do through emotional teamwork. And
Yeah.
once they all come together, and like there are little things, I don't think.
I think as a
Kato-
movie, yeah,
there's not a double
definitely right.
crosser in Power Rangers, but like. It's like it feels so similar. It's all about training and finding your true spirit and whatever.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But like, I think Power Rangers overcomes that just because it is 10 times goofier than this movie is. Like this movie
Mhm.
needs to be at least like 3 times goofier if it's gonna work.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
like,
it's Mortal Kombat. Be
Yeah.
stupid.
and it is trying to be kind of goofy. It's like 15% there, where they're like, what if there was just like an invisible lizard? What if one of the guys was Scottish and really funny? Like, what if, like,
Jackson, he is Australian.
is he Australian?
See, he is Australian.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely Australian.
Okay.
Might
whatever.
so much.
I saw it on.
Get him, boys.
I saw it on Tuesday. Whatever. I don't know what people's ethnicities are by
You
looking
gotta
at
listen
them.
in for that. You have to listen for the accents, mate.
Look, I don't see color is the thing, so that's why.
You hear it, brother. You hear it.
But like, yeah, it's just like not there. It's just like not as insane as it needs to be. That's
Yeah.
just the bottom
Just
line. I think.
inflate it.
Yeah.
Just make it.
Just go
crazy.
batshit.
Yeah.
Go batshit, please.
And like
Somebody,
Scorpion showing
anybody
up.
in fucking Hollywood, please just go ape shit. No one ever goes as ape shit as I want them to.
I'm gonna
Just
use this
somebody,
against
fucking
you,
please.
Ellen. I'm gonna use this against you next time you talk shit about Aquaman. By the way.
This is the kind of energy.
Boring is the thing, though.
No, Aquaman is ape shit.
But they don't focus
please
on
the
the
X-Men
ape shit. You
universe.
introduce the Little Mermaid princess girl, and we don't do fucking anything with her. Aquaman
There's
does
a
not
fucking
ape shit.
whole society of crab people that just show up at the end.
They don't do anything with them. They just show up. That's it. They're not a part of the movie.
Yeah, that's why it's so
God,
ape
give
shit.
me
That's what's
Crab
ape
Man
shit
plot.
about it.
No.
Hey,
no,
Satchel,
no.
do you think that the peach counts as a kaiju? The peach
No.
I'm
from New
hanging up on Discord. I'm hanging up.
It's not alive. No.
It was
you.
alive.
No, it counts as a
Thank
mech.
you. It's not. It's a peach. It's a plush peach. It's not a mech. I'm hanging up the Discord.
I just wanted, I don't know, might as well just stir all the pots while we're here. Make sure nothing's
Yeah, I'm
burning on
hanging
the
up.
bottom.
After all the pots we
Bye.
got.
Hey,
We're
bye.
gonna form our own Mortal Kombat just from people that hate us for our
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Square up.
You have
Um,
freaking pool noodles.
So I think, I don't know, how are we feeling? Do we have it all off our chest? Do we just want to yell some catchphrases before we go? Like, how are we feeling?
I really appreciated that the blood looked a lot like strawberry jelly. Like,
mm.
just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
A lot.
quite, just like not quite blood. Because I, in my old age, have become so squeamish towards things. I watched every single Saw movie when I was in middle school,
Right.
all of
Fuck
them.
that.
And now I like saw one clip from Ratchet where she like cut someone's leg off, and I was like, no, not this. So I got through this movie and I liked it. I felt okay. I never felt gross.
Okay.
So and a woman got cut in half. I
Right,
felt good
right.
about it.
Yeah.
The only thing that woman did was get cut in half. Let's clarify that a moment.
Okay,
The
okay.
only
Actually,
thing she
quipped.
did was get
She
cut in
quipped a
half.
few times. She had a few quips and she flew.
She
I don't think
wanna-
she ever
I wa-
spoke.
I want to go over something because I think like real quick before we wrap this up, like, fuck, who's the main villain dude?
Melina.
Melina.
No,
What's her
Melina
name?
can get it. That's my hot take of the day.
What's
Wait,
her
which one's
teeth?
Melina?
Melina's the one with the mouth.
Oh, with the
thing.
mouth. Okay, got it.
That's
Look.
gross, dude.
We're
That
not
was
Tosh is here. If I have to be the resident monster fucker, I will. What's that
Say
mouth
it.
do? That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
It bite, bro.
It-
She didn't get to bite anybody. She just
That's
bit
true.
Florida.
She should have bit
She
somebody.
What's that
Bite
weapon that
anybody.
spins? I used to have those when I was younger, and I don't remember what
Really?
they're called now. I had size. I had a bow staff. I was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just
Wow,
me all alone.
Dope.
I
All
bet
of
you were
them.
very cool.
Yeah.
I was, obviously.
That boys hated
Clearly,
me.
here we are now.
Oh man, I don't know, but like the main bad guy like was like, she is beautiful. I'm misremembering this. I felt like I was going insane after I remembered because I was like, he was like she is beautiful. She will help us or whatever. And then like she gets cut in half and he's like, I thought it was gonna like elicit like I was gonna like
He was gonna be like, "Oh no, my girlfriend," but
Yeah.
it
yeah, he's
wasn't.
gonna like
Yeah.
get mad or something, or he was just like,
He's just like, hey, you killed these
Cool.
ones, but I got some more. So
yeah,
Right.
I guess
death was just
more.
another
we'll
portal
see you.
and shit.
I'll see you all in therapy.
Yeah.
So,
I'll remember you all in therapy.
so I haven't watched this movie since Tuesday. I'm
Mhm.
trying to remember what all the like big fatalities were, because there's the one where she gets cut in half hot dog style.
Hell yeah.
They spill
Um,
Goro's guts out. What else
Soul
is there?
suck.
Explode
Soul
hammer
sucking.
guy's
the
head.
soul sucking is a fatality.
That's right. That was sick.
The fire snake. That was one of
He
them in
gets
the game. That
burned,
was an
right.
OG one. Yeah.
Blackheart.
Oh, you-
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he
he pulls the
explodes hammer
heart.
guy's head.
Right.
Oh yeah. Jack's doing this. I think is one of them in the newer games. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Does an
That was pretty
incredible
cool.
Hulk clap and destroys the guy's skull.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
you
man.
mean Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong clap. Okay, sure.
He winds up his fist, a little smoke beam comes out.
That's his arcana. That's his real arcana. He just does this.
Yeah.
Charges him a punch.
Jackson, I need you to break off a piece of something for me. What does
Okay.
Donkey Kong say in Mortal Kombat sound like?
Donkey Kong doesn't talk, Adeline.
What about the DJ rapper? What does it sound like with a Donkey Kong rapper?
Oh,
MK. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. This isn't a fun impression to do, Adeline. I'm sorry.
Can you do Diddy Kong too?
All I do is make a grunt noise.
DK?
Isn't like in the cartoon?
He's like,
DK's like,
Just like,
DK? It's me, Diddy, your best friend.
I think that's how he
It
said.
is yelling. It's more yelling.
Yeah.
It fits right into Mortal
it's
Kombat.
true, it's true.
it would be funnier if Diddy Kong was just like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, oh, let's go get the bananas.
What's
Hey,
up, name's Kong, Diddy
I've
Kong.
got a gun.
That would have been funnier. When I direct the Donkey Kong movie, I'll make sure that's what Diddy Kong's voice sounds
Absolutely.
like.
Thank you, Keisha. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll
Very-
take that one for the
very-
team.
Yeah.
Salute you.
Don't touch my bananas, King K.
Okay. How are we doing? Are we ready to wrap up? What's the
Yeah.
vibe?
Jackson's done.
I don't know. I just
Here's
don't
my
really have much
final-
else to say.
Here's my final
Now I'm
thought.
all set.
Here's my final thought. If you watch this movie and you were like, man, I wish it were good, I would recommend watching Kubo and the Two Strings because it has very similar plot development, not kind of, but like similar story characters have
Right.
special
It's
powers
like-
that they need to develop.
If the main character did not get shipped off to America, it would be.
Yeah, it's
Kubo
like
the Two
it's
Strings.
the movie that we are pitching is basically Kubo and the Two Strings,
Right.
and I love Kubo and the Two Strings.
Also,
so,
it just if you
yeah.
haven't seen Kubo and the Two Strings, just watch Kubo and the
just
Two Strings.
And
It's
watch it. It's so
beautiful.
Yeah.
good.
Right.
It's
Oh.
the best Leica movie.
There was one other thing I wanted to say. Because there were a handful of people. This movie's kind of divisive because there is a contingency of people who like love this movie that I've seen on Twitter,
Mhm.
and more power to you. One of them is one of my creative role models, Donny Cates, comic book writer of Thor and Venom right now, which I love. But what he said on Twitter, he was like going on and on about Mortal Kombat on Twitter, and he said basically like, you don't critique a roller coaster for its plot structure because that's not what it's there for. To which I say, that's true and valid as an idea. But if I went on a roller coaster and it was like a roller coaster for the first part and then in the middle there was a lot of really bad plot developments and it like took a really long time, I would be like, this isn't a good roller coaster. I'd be like, this roller coaster
You went
sucks.
on Splash Mountain and you like went up, and then like for a really long time you just rode through all of the scenes, but there's
Right.
just no music playing. It's just like characters walking
All
down.
the animatronics are broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
and then you plummet.
And
That's
then you
this-
plummet it, you'd be like, the end was pretty great. I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
about that. It wasn't really a roller coaster the rest of the time,
Yeah.
though.
There's a lot of just driving in a straightforward line, and that kind of sucks.
Just going to Safeway. Yeah.
It's a car ride to the grocery store. So next week, our episode, I need to drop the May schedule because people don't know it yet.
You got one day.
Yeah, I got one day to figure it out. We need to talk about, we've got an empty spot we got to figure out what we want to do with, and we should talk about after this. But next week is going to be our Mother's Day special, and we're going to have Jennifer McMurray, mother of Jackson and Adeline McMurray, on the podcast to talk about Lady Hawk, which, Keisha, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
I'm not.
Oh, there you are. You came back.
I wasn't muted. I'm just really excited about
Just too
Lady
loud.
Hawk.
Because
Just
for
screaming.
some reason, when we were in high school, for some reason, my mom and Kezia Rhodes just started a conversation about the movie Lady Hawk, the Richard Donner, Matthew Broderick movie Lady Hawk, and they like talked about it in private, like not while we were hanging out. Like Kezia and my mom just started a relationship talking about Lady Hawk. And there was one weekend in high school where Kezia just came over to our house and we were like, oh, Kezia, we weren't expecting you. What's up? And she was like, I'm not here to hang out with you. I'm here to watch Lady Hawk with your mom. And so that's why we're doing this.
That's great.
We're bringing this full circle.
So much. I was so much fun in high school. I'm not fun anymore. I start crying. Oh, I forgot about it. I forgot about the element in that story that was I did come over to your house and didn't tell you.
Didn't tell me about it.
Yeah, didn't tell us.
Just made plans with my mom. Yeah.
I really love Lady Hawk. I'd never found anybody else who'd watched it. So it's probably because I'm not friends with a lot of 40-year-old women. So
Right.
Yeah, you missed your window.
Okay, Kezia, do you want to do our plugs?
yes, I do. If you have enjoyed this conversation a little bit or a lot of it, you should join us in our Discord. The link is in the description. We talk about lots of different things.
Which now I want to chastise every single person in the Discord server really quick because our Discord server has a dedicated channel for talking about fruit at this point. And that's just unacceptable. You guys
Somebody at one point was like, you know what? Honeydew blows, like out of nowhere. And I'm just adamantly in the camp that like cantaloupe and honeydew are really good. And most people just have had like the pre-cut version from the store, which is always bad because it's not ripe. And it like just snowballed into like its own, like everyone's like, but do you like apples? You ever had grapes before? I actually really like green grapes, but I don't like red grapes. And then someone's
it
like,
had like infected
"You're an
like
idiot."
3 other text channels. There were like simultaneous conversations debating about fruits on the Discord server at the same time. I had to make a channel. I had to quarantine it. You need to do better, all of you, is what I'm saying.
So if you want to not talk about movies and instead talk a lot about fruit.
no, you
We
can
have
talk
the
about
Discord server.
both. You can talk about both. That's why it's so good.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Let's go.
Damn,
Is there a
facts.
fruit? What's a good fruit movie? We
Call
should
Me
do
by
on the
Your
podcast?
Name.
Call Me by Your Name. There we
Fuck.
go.
Damn it.
James and a Giant Peach. Hello.
Yeah.
We can't watch that movie on the podcast. We're not
Oh,
allowed.
it'll
in
never
Jungle
happen.
Book, in the Jungle Book 2, there's this scene where Mowgli throws a mango up in the air and then peels it with his finger, and that's always been my dream, is to be able
What's-
to peel a mango like that.
What's the best fruit movie? Are there any movies about fruit? Was there an annoying orange movie?
Oh, there had to have been,
several.
right?
I think there was a trilogy.
Okay, maybe we do
There's a
that.
trilogy,
Maybe that's
yeah.
our fruit representation.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
I can't.
Absolutely not.
I can't swim my way back up to 2009 and land in annoying orange territory.
Yeah.
That's just too much, man. There's gotta be another fruit. Another fruit. I don't know.
I
I
think
can't-
James
for
and
some
the Giant
reason-
Chance
Peach.
of Meatballs.
Yeah,
There's that strawberry that's alive in the second one.
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They almost
Right.
get crushed by a big banana.
Hmm.
Okay,
There's food.
where were we?
Well,
Discord
if you-
server?
In our Discord server and the fruit channel, tell us about what movie is primarily about fruit, and we'll talk about
What
it. on
movie
this-
inspired you to like fruit?
Yeah, what movie inspired you to hate cantaloupe? Let us know in the Discord.
What
You can-
propaganda?
You can also follow us on Twitter at NoNerdsPod. You can follow Jackson at Jepperpack. You can follow Adeline at Hollaback Horse. And you can follow me around on the streets when I walk my dog if you can find me. But I won't tell you where I am. You have to figure it out yourself. Plus, that's not a real
That's
invitation for
Tuesday.
you to stalk me. Please don't do that. I'm not disclosing any location. Anyway, and Satchel's gonna tell you about all of his stuff that he's doing right now.
Hi, I'm Satchel Harp-Monsaeu. You can find me at the 2 Annoying Orange movies. There are 2 of them. I'm in both of them. I feature prominently.
It's the grapes.
The great. No, you can find me on YouTube at Satchelifice or Twitter at Almighty Satchel. I do stuff sometimes. So cool.
Sick. So would you guys like to hear a 1-star review of Mortal Kombat from Letterboxd?
Yes.
Important context. This person does have a Joaquin Phoenix Joker as their profile picture.
Okay, good.
Important context,
Cool.
actually.
This person gives Mortal
Very
Kombat
important.
It sets the scene.
one half of a star out of 5, and they say,
Very stingy.
I haven't watched it, but I don't like it, and don't ask why. It's just because.
That's what people say about Honeydew. That's exactly how people react about Honeydew.
We found Mortal
You-
Kombat is the fruit movie.
You.
The whole time.
That is the Honeydew movie world.
Sorry, you wrote a review. Don't ask about it. What do you why did you write a review
Look,
if you don't want people to know your opinion?
That's the Joker, baby.
Like,
That's
I
just-
don't want
it's
you to
just
watch
crazy
it.
like
I
that.
don't
The
think you should
Joker,
watch it
baby.
because I think it's probably gonna be bad.
And don't ask why I
that's
think
why.
that.
But don't
And
ask me why.
I'm so
I
sick of
don't
people
wanna
fucking
explain it.
asking why I don't like Mortal Kombat.
If
Every
one
single
more
person.
person asks me why I gave Mortal Kombat a half-star review,
God knows.
I give
God knows what I'll
Mortal
do.
Kombat 2 stars.
Out of 5?
No, I'm not saying out of what.
Oh,
You get to
okay.
decide. Just 2.
There are 2
2
stars in
gold
it.
stars.
And this has been No Nerds Allowed. Now the intro. Play the music. We're done.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, fuck, I'm gonna put the Mortal Kombat theme in this
I should have
instead.
said fatality.
Oh,
That's
duh,
it.
fuck. Fatality! Get over here!
There we go.
Get out of here.
Get out of here!
Podcast for you.
I love saying get over here. It's so fun, you guys.
Oh, that's so good.
Get
I don't
over
know
here!
that.
So fun.
I want to be that guy. Someday in 2030, when they're on like the 90th Mortal Kombat game, that's that.
The
I want to
20th
do.
one,
I
yeah.
want to do Scorpion. I want to be the guy.
Love
who's like,
Scorpion.
come here.
I want to do Scorpion.
Yeah.
More than Melina?
No.
Whose mouth
Melina's
is
number one.
No.
What's up?
Melina? Whose mouth is scarier? Melina and her sharp, scary teeth, or Scorpion's fires of hell breath?
He did come back
Which
from
one
hell
would
to
you
kill
rather
you.
kiss? Which one would you rather mac?
Mm.
And that's pretty hot. I'm gonna
Nah,
say coming back
yeah.
to hell to kill you.
Magic.
That's pretty hot.
That's pretty hot. And literally,
That's pretty tough.
Listen,
I'd rather.
am I
I'd
gonna
rather
say
fuck.
that he's daddy? Maybe, but you know what? It's not fair.
I mean, both of those guys can kind of get it, right? That whole
Yeah.
eternal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
like none of them are
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
unattractive. But I just think that sharp, scary, sharp teeth
Right,
all the
right.
time. I would not. I'd rather play around with fire, if you know what I'm saying. I think
There's
that's less
a-
dangerous.
Look, y'all be easy, but all right, I'll be headed to the Nether Realm. All right, I'll see you guys there.
Yeah,
Oh, the Outworld.
I'm gonna grow.
Outworld, that's good.
Outworld.
Uh,
And well, there's also that in between space.
Yeah, the
The
void.
The void, if you know what I mean, winky face.
Which,
you want to know
for the
what's
record,
weird? Go ahead, Satch.
oh no, I was gonna say we're off the podcast now. And I just remembered, because this is always the worst nitpick about any movie, but like, Raiden could have set them there anytime, right? Like he
Right,
could have
yeah.
just teleported any of them when they were in danger to the void. Like it just they
Right.
didn't have to do any of that. They said they can't enter the void. Like there's no way that whatever.
Oh, there's always a way.
He just didn't
It's
want
true.
to before.
You know
that.
what they say about Chekhov's gun
Didn't want
is you
to.
introduce it and you're like, that gun will never work ever, 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 and then it goes
And
up.
then it
That's
goes
how
off.
that's how
Yeah.
they set it up.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
Between
All right.
I
you say
have-
there isn't a gun, and then a gun goes off.
Yeah, exactly.
I've basically never played any Mortal Kombat games except for when I rented the most recent one from a Redbox one time and played it with some friends for like an hour, and I was like, that was pretty fun, but I'm not very good at it. Like, between watching this movie and the 2 other Mortal Kombat movies, I'm just like really into Mortal Kombat right now. Like, I want to go play Mortal Kombat. Like, I want to get into Mortal Kombat right now. Not,
That's their goal.
like,
I
out
was
of all
really
3 of those
considering-
movies, none of them are that great, and I don't like them that much, but they do sell me on just like the idea of Mortal Kombat. I want to get into
Yeah.
it.
I haven't played many of the games, but like one of the best stuff for me is like I watch a lot of like I don't know, I just know I like watch a lot of like video game facts stuff, you know,
Right.
of just like weird like things that happen in video games. Mortal Kombat 2 is really interesting game because it's one of the few instances of like the AI doesn't hold back on you. And by that I mean it straight up cheats. It reads your inputs. It goes, the best way to deal with this is to block or to hit or punch, and then it will do that faster than you can possibly react because it's a computer and it knows what you're gonna do.
They're like, we cheated our way up this way and we're gonna keep doing it, keep cheating. Yeah.
Wow, that computer's a regular Shang Tsung, if you know what I'm saying, guys, right?
Wow.
Damn,
that's the bad guy in Mortal Kombat.
Thank you, Jackson.
So yeah, sorry, the chat hasn't been super active today, and I think I know why that is. It's because I streamed Pokemon Snap for like 3 hours earlier today, and a bunch of people showed up
we're also
for
an
that.
hour. We're also an hour early, and I don't think we said that anywhere.
Well, I mean, that's, I guess, but it's also just like, a bunch of people showed up for my stream earlier. I don't think they wanted to show up for a second multi-hour stream of me talking.
Just 9 hours of Jackson.
9 hours of Jackson.
Be available for them later.
Suppose that's kind of my bad. Sorry, guys, but it's a podcast. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, it's true. Unless the whole internet shuts down.
That's true.
And I'll be gone forever.
Blade Runner.
Which it will.
2049.
Yeah.
Blade Runner. Documentary.
Exactly.
Documentary. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner documentary. It's true. Here's an update on my dog, in case you were wondering.
Let's see him.
I love him.
Look at that boy.
Good boy.
Franklin is acting weird. I think his tummy hurts. He went to the vet yesterday. So he got a shot. So
my best friend, Franklin.
Come here, Franklin. Come here.
Did Franklin get vaccinated?
Yeah, dogs can carry COVID.
He got flea vaccinated. Hey, Franklin.
Aw.
Hi.
It's tick season.
Is Franklin? I can't believe Franklin's an anti-masker.
Yeah.
Listen, he's just really into freedom,
Yeah.
Hey, Franklin. Hi.
Okay, cool. I think we can call it a day. I think we're all tired. And thank you, those of us, just Ian and Headquarter Productions. Ian and Renee. Headquarter Productions is Renee, right? Do I have that confused?
Miss Renee to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
To you.
And I don't know who else.
I wanted to say really quick. I tweeted about it and got to the link earlier at like noon this afternoon, and I was like, what if I just comment "Hello Gamers" before Headquarter Productions does? Like, what would happen? But I didn't do it. I'll do that next week.
You've been warned.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for Lady Hawk with Mom.